the BowTech SR 350. In this video, I'm going to review the BowTech SR 350. BowTech continues to incorporate their deadlock technology, which essentially enables you to shim the cam with the turn of a few screws. This is a feature I really like. They still also use their flip disc technology, offering a comfort and a performance setting. All of the draw length adjustability can be done with the module that comes on the bow, so it can go from 25 to 30 inch draw length. The axle to axle is 33 inches, the brace height is 6 inches. This particular model is a 70-pound limb. For my measurements today, it was measuring 67 pounds from the factory. The limbs are maxed out, they're tightened all the way in. The draw length came in right at 30. It is notable that their little side rubber and weight, little gadget that they put on there to help balance the bow and provide extra vibration absorption and quieting of the bow is a little bit set in the riser. It's still to this side, but it doesn't protrude out, so it won't be getting caught on things. Like if anyone ever had an issue with it getting hung up on something while walking through the woods, they've streamlined that this year. Still have a lot of the adjustability you did before, where areas where you could screw in stabilizers and things like that. BowTech has not gone in the direction that Matthews and Hoyt have as far as integrating sights and arrow rest into the center of the riser itself. There's still side mounting, which is, to me, it doesn't make a difference. Like I have all my stuff that mounts to the side, so I'd rather just use that than spend money on something new. But let's take a look at this particular bow. We'll draw it back, shoot it through the chronograph. Let me check the back wall and how easily or difficult it comes off the back wall first. So coming to full draw, it's a cable stop, but very solid back wall for a cable stop. There is a hair, a little tiny bit of give. So the rubberized piece that comes in contact with the cable probably provides a little bit of that give as well. Let me ease down. I'm trying to ease down. I'm literally trying to ease down right now. I'm going to push my hand forward. Whoa! I couldn't get it to go forward. So if you want to be able to pull back and stay at full draw all day long, you pretty much could with this. It's probably 90 or 95% let off. I don't even know off the top of my head. Let's go ahead and shoot it through the chronograph and get some decibel meter readings. So with 30-inch draw is the intended mark here, 70 pounds, although it's coming in a hair under 70 from the factory. Let's see what we get with a 350 grain arrow. 326 feet per second at the comfort setting and 79.3. Let's shoot another one for get an average here. See if we're consistent. .328, 79.5, and take a third. .327, 78.7. Let's shoot a 450 grain arrow for people that like a little bit of a heavier arrow for hunting. Just see what this gives us. .289, 75.9 for people who like a heavier arrow for hunting. .262, 76.9. So first impressions, I think this bow is indicative of what you come to expect from a BowTech. It's very quiet, very dead in the hand. It's on the comfort setting, so the speeds are going to be reflective of comfort as opposed to performance. I'm at a pro shop today, and so I'm not able to go to the performance setting. It's a little too involved for, I don't want to interrupt the customers and the staff here. I did reach out to BowTech and asked them if they would just send me a bow to do a review on so that I could test it at all the draw length settings and do the performance as well as comfort, but they didn't respond. So fans, if you want to see a more extensive review next year, reach out to BowTech and say, hey man, send them a bow, let them do a review. Bear Archery reached out to me this year and offered to send me some bows, asking me to do a review on them. That shows a lot of confidence in their product. I was pretty happy about that. I got to do a very extensive review. You can see how the draw force curve looks at every draw length. We've got a lot of draw lengths here. I could have done that here for this bow if BowTech was willing. But anyway, I'm going to give you what I can give you, which is the data and the review here. These are nice bows. I like BowTechs. I've actually been shooting a BowTech this whole hunting season. We're getting near the end now. So they're nice bows. Let's go over some of the more details and data at the home office before we close out this video. And I want to say a special thanks to Palo Outdoors for letting me come to their facility today to shoot this bow and make this video. They have a great place here. They've got a lot of bows to pick from. They got a lot of accessories. They got fishing equipment. They've got guns. And Santa Claus works here. I'm sorry, no, he doesn't. But Matt is growing out his beard, and I just been harassing him, playing with him. He's a great guy. Got to hear a real funny story from yesterday, but the day before I came here to do this review.
I hear this noise. A deer runs into the store, runs in and stops there, and then does a loop and runs back out of the store.
No way.
Yeah.
And he's going to maybe look at the footage on the surveillance and maybe submit it to the local news. So maybe you'll see it on the news. But let's go back to the home office and go over this bow. And you know, I will mention they have markings on the cam for the cable, where the cable runs. If it's between those markings, it's in tune, and those markings are nice and clearer than in past years. All right, as I said, back at the home office here, looking at the data, I have my measured brace height was 6 inches, my measured ATA was 33 1/8, draw length was 30, pretty much right there, peak weight 67. You can look at my data chart here. You can actually pause the video and stare at it. I'm probably going to be making a web page on my website to go into a little more detail, but you see the draw force curve here. So anyway, take a look at that. And I did mention that I was shooting a BowTech this year. Here it is right here. I've got the Revolt X. And so I did get to use the deadlock technology, which I thought worked really well. So I can speak to that. I think that, you know, I've liked BowTech over the years. And I do think they got some good technologies in their bows that make sense. The flip disc technology is nice because, you know, like if you got somebody who wants to shoot with more performance, or maybe even just during the hunting season, they want a few more feet per second kind of a thing, and they don't mind the way the draw force curve feels, you could flip that. Being able to shim the cam with the deadlock technology is really nice. So I tuned this up for fixed blade broadheads this year, and in doing that, just tuning the bow, you're able to shim the cam to get your broadheads to fly like your field points. So again, a great technology. You don't have to take the cam all the way off the bow. It's difficult and time consuming to do all that. Here you're turning a few screws and you're honing it right in. So really nice stuff. And so I did mention how they're these little balance and vibration absorbing components that they have they're more in the actual design of the riser now. Mine protrude a little bit on this particular bow, so they've moved those in. I've never had them hang up on things, but I'm sure there's probably people out there who maybe have. So maybe that's part of the reasoning for that. I don't know. Just a little something I observed. I'll also say there was a tag on the bow. BowTech ships their bows with a tag that shows the draw weight coming out of the factory. This one posted at 71 pounds. Now, the scale that I use is actually an upgraded scale from the one I used last year, but I've tested it against the scale I've used in the past, and they were pretty much right on, within about a tenth in draw weight. So I was hitting 67 pounds peak weight. The tag said 71 pounds. That's a 4-pound difference. One thing I've also noticed when I do my bow reviews is if the scale is set to just record the peak weight that it hits, and that's what it displays, it tends to show a higher draw weight than what you actually have on the bow, because when you're cranking up the winch to pull the bow back, you're adding force when you turn that, and that human force is actually adding to the peak weight. So mine, the way it's set is it doesn't stay at the peak weight. So what you do is you go to a particular draw length. I go by inch and I let go and I wait for it to stabilize. That's your peak weight. I'm not adding any additional force. It's only the force of the string pulling on the scale, not added force from my hand cranking. So I think that's probably what's happening. That they're giving readings based on what the peak weight that it hit, because I can't imagine their scale being a 4-pound difference. And scales that I've used have usually hit right around the same mark, within a couple tenths, if any variation. So be mindful of that, though. If you're buying one and the card says 71, 74 pounds, whatever, it could actually be even 4 pounds less, depending on how hard that person was cranking. And you could always have the person at the pro shop verify the draw weight by putting it on their scale. And that's one other thing that's really important about bow shops, is it is important for you to support your bow shops. We live in a world where you can buy stuff online pretty easily, but you don't get the personal interaction. Like, I had that fun story that Matt told me today of the deer literally running into their pro shop yesterday during hunting season. And if you've been to Palo Outdoors, there's public land right down the street, but there's not woods right around the place. So the fact that the deer came in the door, it's just it's ultra humorous, because it really, you'd never expect it. It's like there's a gas station right there. Point is, support your pro shops, hang out with the people, enjoy life. We'll see what happens for next year. BowTech, will you send me a bow to review so that I can do all the draw lengths and do draw force curves for all the draw lengths? And I should say the performance setting. I could do all the draw lengths on both comfort and performance. And I am not asking to give me a bow, just send me one to review. And if you want it sent back, just give me a label, it'll come right back to you. Or you could do like Bear did and let me give it to a fan or whatever, or who knows. But next year we'll be doing reviews again. I hope, God willing, my health will hold up and I'll be able to. Until then, take care, God bless, and make sure you stay tuned for all the other reviews.